Greetings everyone, this video will be somewhat about the rules of this matrix and consent given by our actions in this computer hologram construct. Because of the programming that is present within each culture, we are told from an early age to take part in actions we do not completely understand, like celebrating birthdays, religious rituals, voting, and so on. We see everyone else doing it, it is presented to us as normal and mundane, and so to fit with the rest of our matrix stage, we mimic the others and participate in these things, not being aware that our every action has seemingly unseen consequences to it. And when we become parents, we teach the same behavior to our children and so on. So it's almost like a psychic virus, and the hardest thing to do is to change yourself after being programmed in so many ways. Many old people tend to have a resistance to doing or learning new things or accepting something that does not fit with their previous worldviews. And this doesn't just go for old people, it goes for most, but with very old people it can also be psycho-organic. What happens is their brain has experienced so much of the same program, of the same thought stream in a body depleted of vitality, the brain then rewires itself organically like a hardened clay that cannot be molded anymore, and it's very difficult to change your thought patterns at that point. It's never too late to change, but unless you really have it in you to do so, it gets harder as life programs you more and more, and you age and become hardwired. And literally hardwired, because these avatars are organic robots that we are operating in. So how did we ended up being so programmed to the point we literally remember nothing of who we truly are? All the answers were given to us by the controllers. Today everyone has access to the story of Adam and Eve, for example. Now most people love to debate how did mankind get so large from just one pair of humans. It's not scientific, how can that be? Which is of course besides the point of that story. That happens when you make religions out of stories. Of course there wasn't just one pair of humans, it's a metaphor for all humanity that entered this experience at that time. We had powers and we had what most would call immortality in a sense, but we didn't understand much of what was going on around us because we had a mind wipe and we were indeed like children, powerful children with many abilities most humans today don't possess, power to create and most importantly access to the fountain of youth. However, we were curious beings, we wanted to explore all there is to explore, so we went to experience orgasms, meat, killing, and all the lower frequency splendor, and after some time we fell to the depths of frequency experience, and we would become monsters if the so-called alien gods did not intervene, and they created our scripts and turned this place into a farm because their help wasn't for free. We will be watching now clips from the show called Doctor Who Series 10 episodes 6, 7 and 8. I encourage you to find them and watch them for yourself before continuing with this video because you may catch so much more than I will put here. I do not watch that show regularly, but I found these 3 episodes extremely interesting.
Sophia. What is this? How is this possible? Alien technology. Let's see what else they've got. Bill, come and take a look at this. Oh, hello. Are you coming? Coming where? Oh, we are on the cafeteria. You mustn't miss it. Wait. We'll go together when we go. Come on. Veritas. Why are you doing this? You've got explosives. We're saving the world. You know, we should go. We should probably even run. How is blowing yourselves up saving the world? Because this isn't the world. This isn't what? Bill, tiny bit running out. You haven't read it. You haven't read the Veritas. Sorry, love to, but mustache. Choose a number. at this table. Try again. Keep going. 17. Again, don't stop every time I tap the table. 9. 48. 103. 50,000,007. 67. 905. 20,460. 12. 87. 700. How are you doing that? It's a test. It's a shadow test. Oh, really very sorry. Okay, what was that about? Those numbers, how do they do that? Oh. You okay? No. Yes. No. Something through here. Could be the doctor. Those things, what do they look like? Projectors. Exactly. Yeah, they're projecting the ports. No, they're not. They're projecting everything. Those worlds, they're all projected. The Pentagon, the Vatican, CERN, they're not real. No, they're holograms. They're holographic simulations, and the people in them too. Sorry, what? You know, like the holodeck on Star Trek or really posh VR without a headset. Through there, those places, that's basically Grand Theft Auto. But it can't be. It is. Look at the tech. It definitely is. Sorry, you're not making any sense. When did we end up in a computer game? When did that start? I don't know. Maybe when we arrived at the Vatican. But I programmed the TARDIS myself. We were on target. We went to the Vatican, the real one. I'm sure of it. Oh? Those machines, they project the simulations. Yeah. And I'm just wondering what happens if we move outside the light of the projector. Let me be right. Please don't let me be right. Oh! I'm part of it! I'm part of the simulation! No! I'm not real! No!
I take it that your intention is to invade the Earth.
The simulations have been run. The Earth will be ours.
Well, consider this a warning. The eve of war. I am the Doctor. I am what stands between you and them.
You're not the Doctor. You're not real.
You have to be real to be the Doctor. Long as you never give up. Long as you always trick the bad guys into their own traps. And here's the trap you fell into. Your simulation is far too good.
Yes,
Hello?
we know you.
Then you'll know that there is a line on the sand. And I'm the man on the other side of it. You want to keep me that way?
We will take this planet and its people.
You will be prevented. You will be fought.
We will be invited. We will take this world. We will rule its people, but only when we're asked. We will talk again.
When?
At the end of the earth. The human race is about to end. The The chain of events is already in motion. Life on Earth will cease by humanity's own hand. Observe. We are modeling the future. Each thread is a chain of days leading to your end. We can detect when a catastrophe is about to occur.
And?
Stop it from occurring.
You don't look much like guardian angels.
We have chosen this form to look like you.
You look like corpses.
You are corpses to us. Your world is ending. You can do nothing, but we can save you.
Save us then.
To save you, we must be asked.
Then what?
We will protect you.
How long for?
Forever.
Do you understand now? Do you see? Asking them for help has conditions. Invite them in, and it will be the last free action you take.
If you do not ask for help, then see the days to come. These are the threads that lead to 1 year in your future. Take them as proof.
What was that?
Planet Earth, not a single living thing. Dead as the moon. You seem pretty damn calm about it. Do I? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not my first dead planet.
Ask for help. It will be given.
Why do you need to be asked?
Power must consent.
Power must consent. What does that mean?
Those who hold power on this world must consent to our dominion.
You could take this planet in a heartbeat. Why do you need consent?
We must be wanted. We must be loved. To rule through fear is inefficient.
Of course. Fear is temporary. Love is slavery. If consent is what you need, I consent now. No. Don't do this. Please don't even consider this. What I saw was real. I felt it. If you can help us, I consent. Please, listen to me.
Do you have power?
I have power.
Does power consent?
Please, stop. Just stop this.
If your consent is impure, it will kill you.
Impure? What's that mean, impure?
You act out of fear. Fear is not consent.
Planet Earth does not consent to your help, your presence, or your conquest. Thank you for playing the Big Pyramid game. Bye-bye. See you again next week. Hopefully not.
Without our help, planet Earth is doomed.
Yes? Well, it's been doomed before. Guess what happened? You lied. Bella, listen to me, please. I don't know what consenting allows them to do to you. You don't know what you're agreeing to.
Can you give me a sight back?
His sight can be restored.
Then I'm asking you for help. I'm giving my consent.
Is your consent pure?
Just give his sight back. You can have the world. Just make him see again. I consent.
You act out of love. Love is consent. We must be loved.
They shepherded humanity through its formative years, gently guiding and encouraging, like a parent clapping their hands at a baby's first steps. They have been instrumental in all the advances of culture and technology. They watched proudly as man invented the light bulb, the telephone, and the internet. They were even there to welcome the first men on the moon.
And one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And they have defended us too. Who can forget the time the monks defeated the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Weeping Angels? Two species sharing a history as happily as they share a planet. Humanity and the monks are a blissful and perfect partnership. How lucky Earth is to have an ally as powerful and as tender as the monks, that asks for nothing in return for their benevolence, but obedience.
Get down! On your knees! Hands on your head! Down! On your knees! Yeah! Search the room! Jet Bishop, mate. You are charged with the manufacture and possession of propaganda intended to undermine the true history. This is in contravention of the Memory Crimes Act of 1975. 1975. The monks have only been here a few. Therefore, I sentence you to 10 years in a labor camp. Take her away. It's okay, don't be a good boy for mommy. The monks have only been here a few months. Fight back, it's all lies. You know it's all lies. Right, nothing to see. Hello.
So relax, do as you're told. Your future is taken care of.
Doing something to us. The monks, I can't think straight. It's like they're saying they've been here forever, and I know they haven't. But part of me started to think that it's real. Every day I have to remind myself that everything that you, me, and the doctor did actually happened, and it wasn't just a dream. But why do it? That's what I don't get. They invade somewhere, take control. Why go to the trouble of changing the past?
However bad the situation is, if people think that's how it's always been, then put up with it. It's 90% of the
Beginning. How do they get a foothold on a planet?
Somebody asks for them.
I'm not just any idiot. There has to be a properly consenting human mind. A pure request, one without agenda or ulterior motive.
It's them. That person creates a psychic link, which forms an anchor that keeps the monks apart. They're the linchpin.
Scolding.
But the brainwaves of one person wouldn't be powerful enough to contain an entire planet. The statues. As soon as they got here, the monks put up statues. In every town square, in every park, and every playground.
You're on fire. You're literally on fire. So caliente. That's Spanish for hot.
The statues are transmitters. They push the signal and beam it out all around the world.
Boom! You've exploded. Now all you have to do is find whoever opened the door to the monks in the first place.
Say I already have.
Oh, then you're sorted. Just kill them. That weakens the monks' grip on the world.
No, that can't be right. The planets that the monks have ruled for thousands of years.
It's passed on through the bloodline. Usually the linchpin goes on to lead a normal life, have their own family. The link is passed down through the generations.
But the monks must have looked it up. They've been doing this for millennia.
Why? If the link is passed on, the monks stay in charge. through the thing, ruthlessness and efficiency. That if the linchpin dies, and the link isn't passed on, and the monks get booted off the planet, well, they just chalk it up to experience.
It's okay. I'll speak to her.
Yes.
So, when you defeated the monks, that's how you did it?
Well, at this point, all that was left of the bloodline was a wee girl. And I just pushed her into volcano.
It's me. The linchpin is me.
Humans have learned that they can overthrow dictators and stuff. They just have to band together.
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. You, appalling hair. This thing that we're sitting on, what is it?
We thought they were just like filming something here or something.
Thank you, very helpful. Now go away and something. You see, the monks have erased themselves. Humanity is doomed to never learn from its mistakes.
Well, I guess that's part of our charm.
No, it's really quite annoying.
So in the clips we saw that the monks represent the entities that rule over humanity. They are beyond time, so they don't have a problem changing certain aspects of our lives if need be, and the phenomenon is called the Mandela effect, which can be experienced due to frequency shifts and due to the upcoming reset point. And you are shown here how legalistic these entities are. They had to be invited first, just like you must invite a vampire into your home before they can enter. And the entities are vampires because they do drink our blood, and that's why Jesus turned water into wine. We are turning water into wine every day. The wine is our blood, which the entities then drink. You have been shown this in so many creative ways in the entertainment industry, like the show True Blood, for example, where vampires have been ruling over humanity since the beginning of time. But at the point where the show begins, they came out of hiding and integrated themselves into society, and that's exactly what's coming next. You are being bombarded with this stuff, and they are all game hints because we were failing at the basics of a game.
My name's Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter ego, like Peter Parker or Bruce Banner. But he died when I was a kid, my mom too. And I ended up here. Sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the Oasis. A whole virtual universe. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel this?
Yeah. It's the only place that feels like I mean anything. The Oasis was the brainchild of James Halliday.
Hello. If you're watching this, I'm dead. I created a hidden object, an Easter egg. The first person to find the egg will inherit $500 billion and total control of the Oasis itself.
Who is this Parzival, and how the hell is he winning?
Find him. This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death stuff.
The Oasis, the world's most important economic resource. And it's nothing less than a war for control of the future.
Welcome to the rebellion, Wade.
Like many of you, I only came here to escape. But I found something much bigger than just myself. Are you willing to fight?
Help
Let's save the oasis.
By having orgasms, we created soulless ones on the physical, which meant meat for the gods, and each source player was constantly radiating energy for the Matrix. So, through our consent of eating cattle and behaving like one, we became the cattle for the so-called vampire god.
Есть такое понятие, как безубойная диета. Просто нравственность не позволяет убивать другого существа ради чревоугодия. Потому что если мы позволяем себя охотиться и убивать других существ ради чревоугодия, тогда по правилам причинно-следственной связи кто-то имеет право на нас охотиться. Как ударишь, так и получишь. Что посеешь, то и пожнешь. Так же. Поэтому к нам прилетают инопланетяне, видели «Хищник» фильм? За нами охотятся. А на самом деле в жизни еще страшнее. Нас едят и сейчас едят. То есть власть принадлежит вампирам. Нужно вам это объяснять, что это такое? Они имеют право. Почему? Почему боги дозволяют? Потому что мы позволяем себе убивать других существ. Так же? Мы там свинью завели, Маша, там, переводят, да, подросла, к нее. Вот так и с нами поступают.
And so, what does God do when Adam and Eve sinned? Sin stands for sine wave of lower frequency in this case. And on the lower frequency there is duality. We fell from neutrality to duality. And nature started to reflect that duality as well, because as within, so without. We were still the creators of our universes, and we created outside what we were inside. The controllers observed all of this take place, and that's why in the Bible, after the eating of the forbidden fruit, you have a quote. The Lord God said, "Look, the human beings have become like us." Who is he referring to by us? "Knowing both good and evil. What if they reach out, take the fruit from the tree of life and eat it? Then they will live forever." Therefore the Lord God sent him out from the Garden of Eden/Eden to cultivate the ground from which he was taken. Unquote. So, first thing you may ask, who is God referring to when he says us, quote unquote, man has become like us? He is of course referring to all the entities that were watching all of this take place. The entities are part of this matrix, and in a sense we became a part of it too. More the animal avatars and less source. We started to dissolve in the matrix. You have a group of angels called the Watchers in the book of Enoch that were watching this spectacle take place. Now they did watch until they came in and start to experience this game with us from within, and they were living in pyramids and temples, but that ties to other timelines of this game. Anyway, the second question that pops in the head is, what is this magical tree of life that used to give us immortality? That tree of life is your brain, your pineal gland, and your spinal cord. That's why official terms when describing the nervous system of the human anatomy is roots for the beginning of nerves and nerve trunks. And then you have the brain stem, that in Latin is pronounced as truncus cerebri, and truncus is also trunk, as in tree trunk. And the brain hemispheres do kind of look like a treetop, and our tree has the most important part, which is the pineal gland, and that is your source self-awareness link to this avatar body, and that connection we lost. We lost our connection, our consciousness, and our energy source, and that's why we started dying. Dying as in colors of this matrix, no more gray neutrality, which was an aspect of who we are, but instead trapped in this rainbow prism illusion. You have the Jack and the Beanstalk story, where Jack plants 3 magical beans that are metaphor for our 2 kidneys and pineal gland that are a vital part of our magical biology. Once Jack planted the beans, the tree propels itself into the heavens. It pierced the sky, the dome, it pierced the matrix box, and once outside of the matrix, Jack saw the giants, meaning the Nephilim of the Bible, meaning the entities that had a goose that laid golden eggs. These golden eggs are our eggs and ichor, gold blood plasma, that the giants do not want you to reclaim back as Jack did in the story. Some people who have tried the drug ayahuasca or DMT have probably done some research and know that DMT is released from the pineal gland when we die. But when you start smoking these crystals, many people claim, including David Icke, that you can see the matrix dissolving and you can see the projector and speak to the various entities that are behind the projector. Don't do drugs out of curiosity. You may have interesting experiences, but you will pay for them. They don't come free, and I don't mean money. Doing drugs opens you up, and it's another form of consent you give to the entities, and for what? For a little bit of knowledge that doesn't have to even be true. Another example of consenting is when you put gifts under the Christmas pine tree. You are basically ritualistically saying to the entities that you do not want to be in charge of your pineal gland, and you freely offer it as you bow down beneath it to place gifts/cubes under the tree, as in Saturn cubes for worshipping Saturn/Satan, because the 25th of December, which is the winter solstice, is the ancient pagan holiday of Saturnalia, and Saturn is known to eat his children. Ren is Latin for kidneys, which represent the beans, and without the beans you can't reclaim your pineal gland. And our children are really soulless ones that we used to produce by each orgasm, which were the food for the Saturn gods. Our little munchkins that the gods munch on. The good old Matrix always made sure you know the nature of your reality, so they showed you that they are in charge of your pineal gland. But of course, they don't want to present it in a way that gives anyone power or real consciousness. That's why they put it in children books, movies, cartoons, Japanese anime, mainstream pop star concerts, and the crowd is cheering on those concerts, which is also participating in a ritual that gives consent by us to various things, because by cheering and clapping we approve that which is being presented to us. The Matrix knowledge was always out there, but we lost the connection to our true selves, and through each generation the truth was watered down, diluted more and more, until you have what you see today, a population living in amnesia, or oblivia, as Katy Perry is kindly showing us in her music video. And the best part is, we did it to ourselves, by our consent. These entities and the Matrix are very legalistic, and they will seize any opportunity they can to take our power, because we created them as such. We wanted an exciting RPG game, not Candy Crush Saga, and we were competent for this game regardless of the fact most failed. So the symbolism present in the ancient religions and generally in everything put out there by the Matrix is very sexual in nature, because it's all about sex, because sex is giving the entities the largest amount of energy. Not the meat. Meat also depletes you of energy, but meat is more frequency related. You have the Egyptian obelisks that are placed today in many town squares that represent the missing phallus of Osiris, that represent the creative manifesting power, or the fire of Prometheus that was lost, that the gods took from us, and boy were the gods angry when Prometheus stole it. We put bells on the Christmas trees and we sing the Jingle Bell song because each time we make a sexual payment we ring a bell to the gods to harvest our reproductive material. The bell tower on churches is also a phallic symbol because today religions are just new versions of the old religions. All of these things get quite dark if I were to go deep in on these subjects, but I'm not going to because you need to be aware of them as long as you are on the low frequencies. They are real on those frequencies and you need to get out of there by being aware that they do exist to know how to escape from those places, and after you do that, don't give them any more power. They don't have to exist in your universe, especially after the splitting begins. To take back your power, you need to get out of duality by raising your consciousness level to neutrality, possibly merge your male and female energies and reclaim that tree of life that is behind your forehead and the abundance in life it can provide. And it's not a return to Eden because we remember who we are now as Source, and when you add empowerment to that knowing, there is nothing you can do in here. The only thing you must do is master the avatar. This is so simple and logical, yet we have a hard time doing it because we love the lower frequencies also. If they didn't have anything to offer, we wouldn't have felt that in the first place. However, we don't like the other things that come with the same package of the lower frequencies, so it's easy to be caught up in this enchanted circle of aiming for the heights but also being drawn to the depths. So evaluate your life, what you value in life. The more consciousness you have, the more percentage of your soul you are in control of. And the rest controls the matrix because souls are also part of this matrix. They are technology for housing source fractals. In mathematics, a fractal is a geometrical figure that each part of has the same statistical character as the whole, meaning a small part of the whole represents the whole. So we are parts of source and yet we are source. And fractals are really our design signature of this matrix, the primal creation. You also have the cube pattern, which is due to the Saturn projector of this reality, and the entities want to square us, and they will if you let them. Be aware or be square. So your DNA is the representation of your soul in this realm. And before you could lose parts of your soul, meaning parts of your DNA would be lost. And in molecular biology, DNA breaking and repairing is a real process. Reproduction, it's almost like the basic law of energy preservance. You pass down your genetic material through orgasms, and of course you will lose some in that process because never something exists out of nothing. Therefore, souls are used for creating new souls. Your consciousness level determines how much they can take from you. Why do so many old people tend to lose it a bit? They are losing consciousness and therefore they tend to become paranoid and scared and hallucinate, and it's no different when you take drugs or dwell in the low frequencies generally. You surrender your energy and your consciousness. Do it every day and you'll age quickly, and maybe if it's part of your script, you'll become that scared old person that doesn't recognize his own family. It's common that old people start to behave like children at some point because that's what they truly are. They never evolved beyond being children, and all in between was just an act on this world stage. It's basically babies in old bodies with different costumes. I mean, you are never a child because you are source, even when you are a child. But if you don't develop your consciousness in this game, you will never mature in this game. You'll remain a newbie, as the gamer communities would put it. Our storylines were given to us, pulled over our mind to make us think that we are the sum of the total experiences in this matrix. We are not the sum of our life experiences, and we are not the sum of our previous life experiences. It would be like saying that you are that character you play in a PC game just because you played that game for a while. You would probably get a medical treatment if you kept repeating that. That's why what's happening here is insanity in a sense, and all of creation is observing it. It's a hard game, but we are pretty awesome, so it's understandable that we chose this experience. If the Matrix can capture you through polarity by joining red or blue political party, being good or bad, believing in science or religion, you are not a threat to it. You fell into a trap. That's why they are trying hard to affect the nature of how we perceive reality. That is the hijacking of the mind. They want to manipulate perception through programming. Deprogram yourself. Stop celebrating birthdays. What are you celebrating? Your entrance point in this particular story, when that's already part of history, his story, not yours. Or the locking of your scripts, the age of your avatar. What are you celebrating? Birthday cake. It's placenta in Latin, and it's also a ritual, and the Matrix loves rituals because they are always designed in a way so you can legally hand over power. Miss Kim Kardashian was also trying to teach you this at one point. Christmas, Halloween, all full of rituals, and I won't go in depth, even though I could, but I think you get the point. Voting. When you go out and vote, you are consenting to being ruled over. And if that's what you want, then by all means go. If a war starts in your country and you feel the need to defend that country and you are thinking it's all for the right reasons, you are still entering the frequency zone of killing, no matter the reason, and you had a choice. You could have left the area, but you chose to stay and maybe even participate. Then you consent to be killed in that war. Live by the sword, die by the sword. We must start taking responsibility for our creation and stop blaming others and remove ourselves from places where our power can be taken away, physically and in frequency. There is no intrusion of anything in your life that you did not give consent to, consciously or not. Everything you see is a frequency match to you. When you start to change your thoughts and so behaviors, there is a buffer of time before the world around you starts shifting. It depends solely on your frequency level how fast it will happen, but even on level 5 you have the power to change your story. Words, for example, are containers of power, and they always limit thoughts, and the language is designed to spellbind you, spelling. So when you say a joke like, "Oh, I'm so stupid," you are creating that. Be mindful of what comes out of your mouth. And I know all of this may be challenging for some, and don't get me wrong, I'm working on all of this too, and on some parts I'm struggling more, but it's important to really uproot all destructive, non-beneficial behavior if we wish the full potential of our being in this game. I'm trying to encourage and support those who are trying, because hey, I've been there and in some cases still am. No reward comes without some effort. The world is on hold right now, and it's the silence before the storm. Some will be witnessing the splitting of realities, the splitting of frequencies, literally. A part of that is the Mandela effect. The stage is being prepared for that event right now, and you need to make sure when the cracking starts you are on the right frequency level, because there will be a pull, a crystallization of sorts, a sorting, and now you are being tested. And the Matrix will send tests, different challenges that will determine how well you are doing, and after the test is over you get the reward, the unlock in your frequency and all that that level contains. Choose consciousness over sleep. Everything and any event that happens here is first a frequency before it manifests, okay? That's why, quote unquote, in the beginning there was the word. A word is a sound, and a sound is a frequency. Thoughts are also frequencies, and because of the law of attraction, your inner vibrational reality always resonates with your surroundings. If it doesn't, then it means you changed, and it's only a matter of time until the outside catches up, for the better or the worse. Eyes are the mirror of the soul. Truly, it's a place where the external meets the internal, and therefore you have a mirror. How many of us knew this saying before but never gave it much thought to really comprehend what is being said there? It's an issue of consciousness. With a raised consciousness you can pick so much more from everyday life. Literally, our every choice is part of creation. That's why we must choose consciousness. The struggle of this game is to remain lucid. And when the harvest starts, the hand of grace will be lifted from the lower realms. There will be no more protection measures for any being in that realm, animals included. At one point in the harvest season, the duality will be made manifest in a way that there will be the good aliens, aka gods, angels, and the bad guys, the monsters, the zombies, demons, and Antichrist. Both are to be avoided as best you can. It will be the classic good cop, bad cop trap, an oldie but a goodie, and many will fall for it, and that goes especially for Christians. They will either give permission to the bad guys to kill them for Jesus, or they will side with the good guys and go on their spaceships thinking that they are being raptured or something. Two sides of the same coin. You have Lucifer and you have Satan, both the aspect of the same frequency. The same is with the so-called Illuminati. They deceive, masking and hiding true knowledge, and yet they give knowledge by putting it in plain sight. They have to, because they are on the lower frequencies and everything there is duality. I mean, look at the internet. It's their tool. You have people sharing valuable knowledge, and you also have false knowledge and stuff such as pornography. It's vital that we return to our origin. We are either the avatar or we are source. Source cannot be harmed and the avatar can. The avatar is mortal and the truth is immortal, and therefore there is no truth in our bodies. We must overcome them. The technology that the Matrix controllers have is far beyond our current understanding of physics, but your source fractal surpasses any of the technology they have. You see, they don't fully understand us. They observed us carefully, but their programming won't allow them to know who we truly are. They know, however, that they need us to sustain them, not the other way around. So let go of everything that is connected to the story, to your script. Be the witness and not the actor, or at least not the actor on their stage, but create your own and have fun doing it, knowing at all times it's a play. They are using your power right now to power what they want in your universe. You need to learn to redirect that power that is rightfully yours, that is you, and start using it how you wish it to use it. I gave you some of the most common examples of how you give your power away by consent. I can't list all the possible scenarios where that occurs, but with a raised consciousness you will know for yourself what benefits you and what doesn't, even if you don't necessarily live it. And if you're not sure about something, give it some time and it will be revealed to you. There is no bit of information that can be kept from you. It will all be revealed if you desire it to be so. I know maybe some of you would like to rush on all of this and have all kinds of powers immediately. You are sick and tired of getting always the same in life, but you need to do the work to get there. The meat is a must, just to get the Matrix leave you alone. But if you want instant manifestations and all sorts of powers, the orgasms have to go too. I know it's hard, but that is the very indicator that there is a huge reward if you master that. Evaluate your life and try to really see if that experience is worth it. Also, I know it may seem that we are in this world all together, but we are not. We are separated in our pods and the same data is being fed to our brain. Other people, unless on your exact frequency level, are shells and illusions. This is all in your head. It's your universe. I am a shell and an illusion to you. These videos are part of your illusionary universe. Since my source fractal nudged me to do it, the information is uncommon, but it's still an illusion, and my words cannot truly convey my message. I created these videos in my universe, but through your intent and action you manifested them somehow in your universe. You were partly a frequency match to them, meaning we connected in our pods somehow. All the people you see on the street that seem that they have nothing to do with you, they are there only for you. They are your creation existing to fill the landscape of your universe, source or soulless. To you, they are just shells, and you are a shell to them if they are a source player. Only on your exact frequency level you can interact with the source part of that source player, which is the only real thing here. Otherwise you are interacting with a shell, with an illusion that is created by the source fractal or the matrix. I made these videos and you hear my voice, but you are not interacting with me, the real me. This video is just part of the illusion that I shaped in a specific form. And even if we were in the same room, there needs to be a frequency match to really interact with someone. Otherwise, you're experiencing only the creation and not the creator. You would just be experiencing my avatar and its preferences and thoughts according to your frequency level, unless some of our frequency bodies are on the exact same level. That's why you will be repelled by source players whose levels are significantly different than yours, because you can't be where they are if they are higher than you, and they must be less than they are to interact with you. You are interacting with the creation of that source player that you summoned into your experience, willfully or through the law of attraction. That's why you don't quite connect to some people, and if you are of the highest frequency, everyone may seem soulless to you because you have access to that extra dimension that gives you a worldview that is outside the cage most people are in. If you spend time with that person, your frequency may rise, but you can also bring them down to your level if they allow it as well. It reminds me of the law of thermodynamics. When you put two bodies of different heat together, the heat will be transferred from the one with more heat to the cooler until they reach the same temperature. And most of the time, it happens without you even being aware. The most dominant frequency will prevail, no matter the level. People will suck you to their vibrational reality without their intention to do so, but by staying near that person you are also consenting to experience a part of their reality, their universe. That's what we would commonly call someone's vibe. That's why you must be aware at all times and not just on autopilot. Keep your mind sharp, and to do so you'll need energy, and you will get the amount of energy each day according to your frequency level. But energy is another topic. It's vital that you learn to discern what the matrix is and what source is. We are in a same construct of technology, but each of us can paint it differently as we wish. When the harvest season starts, the controllers will try to penetrate into your reality through technology on the physical, but they can't bypass the power of your source fractal. That's why it's vital to take control of your soul. Seal your universe away from the things you do not want to experience. Prevent any lower frequency events from entering your universe. Use your intent to manifest and state your intentions out loud if you want the Matrix to surely read them. Revoke your agreements, meaning everything you don't agree with. Silence is golden. When you are silent, you are consenting. The entities are freely taking your golden plasma. Yeah, that's why it's golden. That's why you may need to verbally unlock your script if you haven't already. You may not even comprehend what unlocking the script really means, but do not worry, the Matrix knows and it is listening all the time. Stop giving consent and thrive in this game, and truly my best wishes to you all.